Yeah, and you know it's funny. We actually got a video too. Who kind of hinted at it earlier about somebody's GOAT being Paul George. We have a video.
The GOAT?
Yeah, we have a video of several.
Hey, listen, when he comes to the Knicks, he's gonna be my GOAT too. I feel you, Brandon.
Yeah, so no, we got a clip where several of like the lottery picks all chose who their GOATs were. We got to take a look at it. It was pretty cool.
On that beat, okay. When a man on that beat, okay.
All right. First question: Bron or Jordan?
Bron. I'd say LeBron.
LeBron.
All right.
It's a great answer comparing what we've seen on the news.
My GOAT of basketball is Paul George.
Okay.
I've been making it clear here lately that my GOAT was Paul George.
I don't blame you.
I like that. You sticking with your answer. Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan.
LeBron or Jordan?
LeBron.
LeBron.
Bron.
Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan, easy money.
LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
I'm a product of your time, so I'm going to go LeBron.
Woo! Now look, I mean, this is
was a great
respectable,
laugh.
but like I think it's crazy that it took 4 people until somebody said Jordan. I think that's really wild.
It's
All
not.
respect to
Hey,
LeBron.
Corey.
What's up?
Remember who my GOAT is?
Who
It's
is your
LeBron?
Oh my gosh, so
Remember
LeBron
when
is your GOAT?
Andre Drummond was here. He asked me.
Yeah.
That's my GOAT.
Oh
bro.
yeah, that is what you said. That is what you said. Come on. I mean,
Hey, join the times, bro.
I think it's crazy that it was a landslide like that. 8-3 or 8-4?
What's so crazy about it? What do you
What's
think
so-
they're judging off of, more or less?
It's impact. It's the not. I wouldn't even say the number of championships. It's the way he won those championships, right? Like there's no comparison. 2 3-peats. There's no comparison.
And he retired.
Yeah,
and came back.
Came back. Right?
No,
like
I get that.
I don't think there was anybody who dominated a period of time the way Michael Jordan did.
I feel like there's a 55, 60-year-old out there.
And if we're going to be honest, he could have probably won like 7 in a row if he didn't retire.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but again, I think it's generational. Like
It's not generational.
No, it's like a 60-year-old out
It's
there.
not
that's like Bill
generational.
Russell
Yeah, it
will
should've
do
been at
anything
least.
to
No,
Michael
it's not even
Jordan.
60-year-olds. No, it's Michael Jordan.
Damn,
It's not
man, just like
generational.
that?
Bro.
And I hate when people are like, I'm a product of my time. No, like I didn't need to watch Jordan play to know that he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you understand basketball, if you understand the history, there's a difference between the GOAT and your GOAT.
No.
I make this difference all the time. I know when somebody asks me who is the GOAT, it's Michael Jordan. I know the history of basketball. This man has 6 championships, 2 3-peats. He retired, came back, and did it again. He won, what was it? Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. I mean, he is let's not even talk about how he changed the game between athletes and sneaker deals. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's Michael Jordan. But when someone asks me who my GOAT is, it's Kobe Bean Bryant because I watched him play his entire career. I'm too young to watch Jordan play. I was a baby when he was playing. So I can't speak to his legacy and his greatness in real time. That doesn't mean I can't acknowledge that he's the GOAT based on everything he's accomplished and based on what I've known, what I know, and what I have seen in NBA films and things like that. It's such a weird concept to me that people say, I'm a product of my time. So does that mean that you can't acknowledge that 90s R&B is dope or 90s hip hop is dope because you're a product of your time? That doesn't make sense to me. Like,
It kind of does if it's something that you don't experience. Like some people don't want to go back to the 90s and the 80s.
You can say to me, this is my argument on this, right? And this is how I don't understand this. So you can sit here and say Lil Baby's the GOAT, but Biggie isn't, because I wasn't around when Biggie was rapping, so Lil Baby's the GOAT. How does that make sense?
The same way I don't say
You can
Run
listen to
DMC is
Biggie.
not the GOAT
You
or-
can listen to a Biggie album and you can listen to a Little Baby album
And
and
come
you
to that
can come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Why do you have to be alive when Biggie is alive to say that he's better? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Because his flow sucks to me. Let's say that's the case. His flow sucks to me. I don't like this old, slow, drawn-out flow. I grew up in a time where
Okay.
first thing I came up in was snapping.
Well, all right, well, how about
all
this? How about
different
this?
stuff.
How about this?
Whose flow sucks?
No. I'm saying this
Oh.
would be the
Oh, right, I
opinion
know.
of
Because I will
someone.
get off this
This
chair
would be
and
the
box
opinion.
you. Like,
No, all right,
But
well,
see, I had to say it that way because that's how they think. They like, I've heard young guys, 22, say Tupac is trash. Like,
no, that's wild.
But
it's
my
because
thing
they
is
don't know
like,
that time, though.
my thing is like the argument of like I'm a product of my time is lazy to me because there's so many things in the
You can do your
history of the
research.
world, whether it's film, whether it's music, that you can appreciate the greatness of and compare it to things in current day and come to a conclusion that what was in the past was better than what's in the future. For example, I wasn't around when White Men Can't Jump was in the movie theater, but I can tell you that the original's better than the remake.
But you took the time to go
if I'm a
back.
product of my time,
the
shouldn't
time
I
to
think
go
that
back.
Jack Harlow was better than Woody Harrelson?
Right.
Like, it doesn't make
No,
sense.
but you took the time to go back. Most people, if they don't want to take the time, they don't want to watch a movie from '93.
So then they shouldn't
'Cause
be
it looked like
talking about
trash.
it.
No,
They
I agree with you, BC.
They shouldn't comment on things if you're not going to take the time.
But
to
if you
actually
ask
do
them
the
a question,
research,
they're going to
then-
give you an answer. Which right now my answer is LeBron is better. Now,
Did you give your reasoning yet? To
my
why- to
reasoning
why
is
he is?
I will always say on the court, Jordan is the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
On the court, off the court, LeBron as a whole, as a human being to me is the GOAT.
Oh, come on.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Ashley?
Hey,
Like,
I
what
got
are
to
we
give it to
doing?
him. He had
I've actually
perfect
heard him say that.
attendance.
I've heard him say that before.
He had
So-
perfect attendance. Cool. Good job, bro. But at the same time, I value the human.
We're
not
talking
just the game.
basketball, Woo. We're not talking.
Well, I just gave you
We're
my
not
answer. He the
talking.
GOAT
We're
in
not
basketball.
talking about philanthropy. We're not talking about humanitarianism. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about the court, the hardwood. When it comes to the game of basketball, Jordan, LeBron, who's the GOAT?
Paul Jordan. No, I'm just playing.
Jordan-
Jordan.
That's
I got
what,
you.
that's all it
That's it.
is.
That's it.
That's it. Like, we don't need to factor
Yeah.
in LeBron's a better businessman and LeBron has more
But
commercials.
that's because you don't need
we
to.
are talking about
I gotta respect the human.
we're talking
to still get that off. I gotta respect the
X's.
human.
We're talking about X's and O's. We're talking about hardware. We're talking about the ball. We're talking about the basket. We're talking about championships. And when it comes down to basketball, we're not talking about who's the human GOAT. We're talking about who is the GOAT of basketball. It is always Michael Jordan. I don't understand this logic that because you're a product of your time, you have to pick LeBron. That doesn't make any sense to me.
People gotta have their
you
own
guys-
opinions.
It's not even close.
have
It
you
doesn't
guys-
make sense. It's a weak
All right.
argument.
So
What
so
about Ali?
Let me
What
let me
about
give this
Ali?
to you. Hold on, BC. We got players with the best finals percentage. Are you gonna say John Havlicek is better than Jordan because he has 8 finals played and 8 finals won?
Be
No.
for real, Woo.
I'm just saying
Like, give
he
me-
got 8.
like, be
Jordan ain't got
serious.
8, and he ain't never lose.
Like, be serious. Be
You said it.
serious.
John, I got your back. Havlicek.
Like, be
Let's go.
serious.
Was that guy the best player on his team?
Doesn't matter, man. He got 8
It
rings.
does
bro.
matter. That's
He
the
got
whole
8
part of
rings,
the argument.
undefeated 8 rings.
Did he lead them to that finals championship?
All right, we got John, Casey Jones, Tom Sanders, and then finally a recognizable name, Robert Horry's better than Jordan.
Let's be
chill.
serious.
Hey, I'm saying, right?
I
We
just
going on
don't-
record.
I just
Robert
don't-
Horry better
I
than
just
Jordan.
really don't like this
Wow.
argument
That's what
that
we doing?
people try to
That's what we
discredit.
doing, BC.
For example, would you say Ali is the greatest boxer in the history of the sport?
Exactly. That's where I was going.
Absolutely.
Were you alive to watch Ali play?
No, but I did my research.
But that's my point.
That's the point.
And I
This
did my
whole
research on
that's
Jordan.
good. I
That's
can
the
give you
point.
I
That
can
is
give
the
you a
whole point.
multitude of examples of how you don't need to be around to watch someone play in real time to appreciate and value and rank their greatness on a hierarchy scale. This whole argument about I'm a product of my time is stupid. Like, if that was the case, you know how many things that I would think were better than things in the past that aren't better just because I'm a product of my time?
All right, but that was one guy, right? So if all the rest of them went back, watched Jordan, and said, nah, LeBron's still a GOAT, now what? They're 22, 21.
We don't believe you.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
need
right.
more
I mean, like
people.
you were just you didn't do enough film watching, right? Like you didn't dive into that film as far as you should have. Because how? Like how did you come to that conclusion?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I just don't think people gonna take that time to go back. So they're basing it off of their time. And that's why I started with the Bill Russell thing, because there's going to be that guy that's like, yo, I watched Bill Russell play. He got 11 rings. I saw Jordan come along, but he didn't get 11 rings. And there's always going to be a generational argument.
I don't know, man. I think it comes down to who is just the best, because I've always said that LeBron James is still the second best. He's proven, I think, at this point that he is the second greatest player of all time. But he's not the greatest of all time. I don't think he was able to make it to that peak. He wasn't. Now, was he able to accomplish like the scoring title and whatnot? Yeah, he was. I think that was a great accolade that solidified him as the second greatest of all time. Now, if this dude, I told people, like, if he had went and grabbed maybe about 2 more chips with the Lakers, and I'm talking about outside of this, the one that they got in the bubble, if he can manage 2 more championships before he finishes, before he retires, then I wouldn't be mad at people that put LeBron over Jordan as their goat.
And on top of that, when we talk about, if we're even going to talk about off the court, right? Just playing devil's advocate here, Jordan and his mother changed the entire landscape of how athletes are paid with sneaker deals. LeBron didn't do that. LeBron is reaping the benefits of what Jordan and his mother started. Nobody was getting royalties from sneaker deals before Jordan and his mother changed that. Jordan makes over, what was the ad? He's worth $2 billion alone from his residuals with Nike and the Jordan brand. Like, Jordan started that trajectory. So all these signature shoes that you guys see that these athletes have since then, LeBron getting multi-million-dollar Nike deals before he was even drafted, these massive billboards, signature shoes from all these different brands, constant reinventions of those signature shoes. That was Jordan who started that. What's more of a GOAT than that if we're going to talk about things outside of the game? Jordan had commercials. I want to be like Mike. I want to be like Mike.
Right
Gatorade,
place, right time.
Nike. People, when he flew through the air, there's movies about him years later, like Mike, with Little Bow Wow. Little Bow Wow wasn't around to watch Jordan play.
Right place,
that kind of a legacy is... we talk about LeBron and we talk about what he does off the court, and it's incredible. And I'm not taking that away from him. He's done amazing things from business, from production, from his promise school. But he is taking the blueprint of what Jordan set before him and elevating it. And while you can't knock it, you can't give him credit for creating that. Jordan did that first. It was Jordan who was in commercials with Spike Lee and the Mars bars. It was Jordan who was in Space Jam. It was Jordan who had kids who were singing, I want to be like Mike. It was Jordan who changed the landscape of what basketball shoes look like. And I'm not taking away from what LeBron has done. But he has taken a blueprint that Jordan started, and he has ran with it and elevated it and changed it for the modern athlete, which has been incredible. But you can't give him the GOAT for that. Jordan was the GOAT he was the first of his kind to do that. I don't understand how people can take that from him.
I could take it away because easily I think Magic Johnson almost became the first Nike candidate.
But he didn't.
He didn't. But I'm just saying, right place, right time. So Jordan, I think, obviously the game plays a role. He plays a role, the game. But what if, let's say, they would have been like, hey, Isaiah Thomas, we want to give you this Nike deal, and Jordan just continues to play, but he never gets that great shoe or something. All I'm saying is different. I think he was right place, right time.
What do you mean by right place, right time?
Meaning, like, there had never been that era of shoes before. So he came up in a time when they were developing a shoe to garner to the game that then went on to obviously create multiple shoes. Like Converse was a big one back then. Converse was
the biggest shoe. They had Jordan. They had Bird. And then you had Adidas.
But if Jordan came around in 2010, that wasn't possible. That's what I'm saying.
But I also think it's unfair to say right place, right time, because if Jordan was not good, if Jordan wasn't the GOAT, if Jordan wasn't the best player in the NBA, you think Nike's giving him a signature shoe deal?
He earned that opportunity.
For that reason, why wasn't Charles Barkley the face of Nike?
Right. There was a whole bunch of greats before
You know what I mean? There were a bunch of great players who had sneaker deals, but Jordan was the greatest. Jordan was the one everyone wanted to be. Jordan changed what it meant to be a basketball player. Jordan changed what it meant to play basketball at the parks. When you watch his commercials, it made you feel differently than it did when you saw Bird, when you saw Magic. Not taking away from those guys, but if he wasn't the best, if he wasn't the greatest, none of this is possible. Yeah. It's because of what he did on the court of being the greatest of all time that all of this is possible, and everyone's been able to follow that blueprint since.
I still think there's somebody else could have came along.
No
way. That don't convince me.
What?
Don't convince me. No. I think the game was still ever evolving. Go BC.
Yeah, like. Who? One second.
I don't have to point out anybody. The game has continuously gotten better since the beginning. Somebody would have came along, got a Nike deal, and basically, if it wasn't Jordan, it would have probably been other people who came along, multiple people, and it wouldn't have been this whole Jordan era.
Oh man,
that's all.
Wow.
Call it cap what you want.
But what you're saying, but you contradicted yourself when you just said that. Yeah, someone else could have came along and got a sneaker deal from Nike, but it wouldn't have been the same impact.
Yeah, because I think his impact as a trajectory, like from Jordan 1, I'll give him credit, all the way up to about 13. That's the realm I like. But like the designers and his game, it was the best combination.
But his game was the big chunk of the reason the Jordan 1 did well in the first place.
Exactly. Let's say Tim Hardaway had gotten the Air Jordan 1s or whatever, right?
They wouldn't have been the Air Jordan 1.
No, the design, I'm saying.
So it would have been like Air pennies?
Nike 1. It would have just been Nike 1.
You just brought up? Did you say Penny Hardaway?
No, I didn't say Penny.
Who'd you say?
Tim Hardaway.
Tim Hardaway. Oh, I thought I heard Hardaway.
But let's say his career starts to do that trajectory, and then Nike's making these sales, and they continue to have the same designer, and they go on to another person and give them Jordan 2. What would be Jordan 2? The shoe. Like, I'm just saying that, like, his game combined with the designers of Nike and the time.
Are you doing drugs over there in the corner, Woo?
What?
Are you doing drugs over there in the corner?
No, I'm not.
Somebody in the chat said, "Yo,
like, are you doing lines over there? Like, what's actually going? Like,
I'm gonna stop because I feel like everybody is attached to their nostalgia.
It's not the nostalgia. I hear what you're saying. Yes, the divine universe of it all.
I think y'all all attached to nostalgia.
But Jordan,
I don't know, man.
The Jordan 1 and that whole division of Nike does not become relevant in the basketball space. Remember, Nike was a running company. Nike made shoes. If you watch the movie Air, Nike made shoes for running. Like, they were an athletic company for runners. They didn't have the same wherewithal. They didn't have the same gravitas in the basketball space like those other companies did. Jordan took them and put them on the map. That's the reason why LeBron has a Nike deal. That's the reason why the LeBrons exist. That's the reason why KD's exist. That's the reason why Kyrie's exist. It's because of Jordan. He's the blueprint that has allowed all these other athletes, with Nike specifically, but across the board, truthfully, to not only have signature shoe deals, but to reap the benefits of those sales. So I hear what you're saying. It could have been another athlete. Sure, Nike could have offered a basketball shoe deal to Joe Schmo from Arkansas, who was the next big draft pick, but it wouldn't have been Michael Jordan, and it wouldn't have had the same impact. So I don't know how you think that. That's crazy.
All right.
Listen,
I'm reading the chat. Hey, man, I still love y'all, man. Y'all ain't got to like my opinion.
Hey, you listen,
Jordan, I'm going to die on this hill for you, bro. Don't worry.
Right, nah, for real. Me too. Hey, I just ordered some Jordans last night. So
which ones did you get?
Some bread fours. I had to get some bread fours. I had.
You hear what you hear that when you say bread fours? You hear the way everyone's just like goes, ooh.
Those are classic. Classic.
Except for Woo, he hating in the corner.
Hey, I'm a hate in the corner, man. I just want to know how many kids signed up for LeBron's school this year. That's all.
Who in the corner hating?
I have more important things to deal with than shoes. That's all I'm saying.
That's crazy.
Hey, listen, you're listening to Paper Route on Faction Talk, Sirius XM channel 103, or you're watching us live on YouTube right now.